Do you MMJ?
I do.
Okay. So let's talk about time management, right? Like, do you back time your day, or like how do you handle it so that you are meeting deadline, but also like can eat?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, eating is always on the back burner.
Right.
I'm sure it is for many reporters who MMJ. On days where I MMJ or VJ, I have two packages usually that I have to turn. Usually one for the 5 and one for the 6. Sometimes one for the 5 and one for the 5:30, which is always brutal because you have to get them essentially done at the same time. So I tell myself I want to be back in the newsroom by 2 o'clock. I'm not the fastest editor in the world. I came from radio, so TV and editing, we use Avid, is still pretty new to me. So I try and get back in the newsroom by 2 o'clock so I can really focus on making sure that my stuff is polished. But when you start your day at 10 a.m., that doesn't give you a lot of time to gather stuff. But I definitely do use the back time strategy to make sure that everything gets done by 5 or by 6. So, yeah.
So when you're out in the field and you have two packages, are they one-stop shops? Are you running around to different locations? What are you doing?
I wish they were one-stop shops. Usually I feel like they're two totally opposite sides of the spectrum when I have to do two packages. Luckily, though, the Providence, New Bedford market is small geographically. So even if I have something down in Westerly, which is like southern Rhode Island, and then I have to bounce back up to Fall River in southeastern Massachusetts and cover some distance, it can usually be done in the time that I'm allotted. And I have to say, we have a really great assignment desk that helps out with a lot of, filling in the holes here and there too, guides me in the right direction so I'm not, spinning my wheels and wasting critical time.
How do you make use of your time in the car?
That's a great question. It's tough because you can't text and drive, you can't fire off emails, so you really have to. What I try to do is get all of my emails and phone calls out before I get in the car.
Okay.
If I know there's someplace I have to go. And then that way, while I'm driving, if I'm getting calls back to set things up for later in the day, that's the only thing I really have to worry about. So I do typically start my day when I'm VJing or MMJing at my desk, make sure I know my stories in and out, make sure I know who I would like to potentially talk to and get sound from, and try and get all those ducks in a row before I get in the car and go.
And do you head to your location even if you don't have things set up?
Yeah, usually, because there's usually some sort of B-roll to shoot,
right.
Some sort of an element to gather. So will usually get out in the field. And I just find that I don't know, maybe it's like Murphy's Law or something. If you sit in the newsroom too long, sometimes those phone calls don't come back in. Right?
It's true. It's true. It's just like, get out of there. Story ideas. How long are you in the newsroom after your story airs to set up for the next day?
So typically when I'm on the VJ shift, it's a 10 to 6:30 shift. So if it's, if I've got two stories to turn, I'm pretty much working straight up until 6:10, 6:15, and then my day is pretty much over. But a reporter's job is never really done. So you go home, you scroll through Twitter, you're looking at Facebook, you're getting ideas from social media, and your sources are emailing you and calling you at all sorts of odd hours. On the occasional day where I do have downtime, or say I only, if I'm working night side and they might not need me in the early shows, I have a couple hours to burn, that's when I'll start looking through, what bills were submitted by the legislature this week, or any interesting, just you start to comb through the places that are good sources for quick turns, good stories. And I do try and always use any bit of downtime that I have to think ahead to the next day, the next week.
That's good. Okay, and one last question I'm curious about for you. Obviously, there was a lot of hype. I'm just trying to think how to put it. Obviously, there was a lot of hype that you got the first Skype seat. And now there's there's clearly a push from the White House to get local reporters involved more so than in other administrations. Are you hopeful, or do you think you'll be able to get either to the White House or another Skype seat, or, some sort of, access soon?
Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I would love to be invited back as a Skype seat reporter. I would love even more if they invited me down to the White House. Actually, one of our anchors just went down to the White House and met with Press Secretary Sean Spicer. He did sort of like a one-on-one with him, shadowed him for the day. So it was outside of the briefing room, but it was still a cool opportunity. And I would love to be invited back. I don't know what the process is. I don't know how frequently they'll rotate different people in and out because, like you said, it does seem like they're trying to get a lot of different people in there. But if this is something that they're continuing to do, I hope that they'll circle back to some of us original folks and say, come on down, or, Skype in again and see what happens.
What's the general feeling amongst local reporters? Like, I'm out, I'm not in a newsroom anymore. So is there a general feeling, or are there talks about how the White House is including regional reporters' reaction, either good or bad?
I think there is, for our newsroom, I think it's a little strange because we've already had representation at the White House. So it's sort of like, great, we did that. We can check that off our list. But what I've been seeing online and in different forums, and, I still have been getting some people contacting me wanting to know more about it. I think there is still sort of this veil of mystery over the Skype Seats program, particularly because the White House hasn't said yet how they're choosing these reporters, or how people can apply if they want to do it themselves. So that's one thing that I hope comes out, is that it becomes a little bit clearer, how folks who want these opportunities can sign up or, reach out to the White House and say, hey, next time pick me. So I hope that the White House offers a little bit more info on that.
Clarity, sure. And then I'll just wrap this up by saying, Kim, you are a member of our community. People that are in our community can obviously reach out to you. That's what this is for. It's a resource and network. So people can find you there as well, too. And, send you a note if they want to talk, right?
Absolutely, yeah. People can reach out to me in the community. I'm on Twitter and Facebook, Kim Kalunian. So I'm open to any questions that folks have. And obviously connecting with fellow reporters is always so much fun.
I know.
And, I look forward to hearing from folks.
Yeah, and I will wrap this up by saying, you did go from radio to TV, and there's a lot of people in our community that are shifting careers or have never been in journalism and now they are. So I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about in that space as well. So thank you. Okay, cool. All right, Kim, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. Good to talk to you.
Bye. Wait, hold on.